How's it going, everybody? I'm Burrhead2, and it's time for a B2 review. Yeah, the name sucks, but the alliteration is there, so I'm not gonna change it right now. But whatever, that's not important. What is important is the fact that I'm reviewing Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Kinda both of them at the same time, but the differences aren't notable enough for me, so just count them as the same game in your mind. That'll make it easier. But how will you do this review? I'm guessing you're not asking yourself. But don't fret, I have the answer, and it's rather simple. I picked 10 categories that I believe best represent the game, and give it a score of 1 to 10, 1 being the worst, 10 being the best, and 5 being in the middle. With all of that out of the way, let's move on to our first category of the day, gameplay. Really, it's just your average Mario Kart gameplay. Get the most points across 4 races, the higher the place in the race, the more points you get, and of course, there's items which either help you or hinder other players. It's your tried and true Mario Kart gameplay. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. It's simple, it has a surprising amount of depth. Quite fun. 9 out of 10. Now let's take a gander at our next category, graphics. See what I did there? Whatever. Honestly, the game looks great. Even if it is a Wii U game, the models, textures, lighting, particle effects, they all look great. Well, except for a few things, like the NPC Toads and Yoshis that decorate a few tracks. They're rather low poly, but considering that for 96% of the game you'll be whizzing by them, it's not very important. 8 out of 10 seems like a good choice. Oh, the next one's pretty good. Music. You know, I really don't want to be terribly biased in this review. I'm trying to keep a neutral perspective. But I just have to say, oh hot mama, the soundtrack is good! Anyway, did you know that Mario Kart 8 has a live recorded soundtrack? And plus, it's jazzy. And yes, I do like myself a little bit of jazz every now and again. So obviously, I really like this game's soundtrack. There's barely a bad song in the whole thing. It's just, it's not good. It's not great. It's absolutely fantastic. I'm gonna give this category a 10 out of 10. Nothing less. So let's see if we can keep this perfect score going in the next category, level design. And by that I mean track design, but same difference. I've played my fair share of this game, so I've played the tracks many times. And guess what? They're good. Really good, in fact. Both the new and returning tracks are a blast to play. Did I mention they're really good? I don't really have anything else to say about this. 9 out of 10. So for the next 2 categories, I'm going to talk about them at the same time. So they are single player and multiplayer. As in, how well does the game do these things? The thing is, Mario Kart is and always has been a multiplayer-centric series that you can play by yourself. Single-player content is all but non-existent, but at least the multiplayer works, right? Don't worry, it works perfectly fine, although it's easy to tell that the frame rate isn't so good, so single-player gets a 7 out of 10, nothing to sneeze at, and multiplayer gets a 8 out of 10. I don't know why, but the frame rate issue just bugs me. The next category should be pretty quick. Replayability. It could be pretty much summed up as, bro, it's a Mario Kart. But that wouldn't be very interesting now, would it? Besides the fact that it's, you know, Mario Kart for crying out loud, there are a few other things you can do, like getting 3 stars in every cup, in every engine class. Of course, you can also play online, so that's pretty much endless replayability right there. Replayability gets a 10 out of 10. That wasn't very hard. But what might be hard is scoring the next category, difficulty. I wouldn't call this game hard, although that's not the entirety of this category. It's mostly, does the game provide a challenging yet fair difficulty and have a steady difficulty progression? To put it in a word, yes? This probably isn't the best category for this game, but putting that aside, I'd say the game's difficulty is fair, even taking into account the different engine classes. Also, the game barely has any difficulty progression. The most it has is moving to a higher engine class once you feel comfortable with the one you're on. Beyond that, not too much more. I think I'll give it a 6 out of 10, bordering on that meh 5 out of 10. So I can't think of any clever transitions, so I'm just gonna start talking about the online, okay? Let's just get the elephant out of the room. I don't think I've ever experienced lag, so it's perfectly fine on that front, but the other aspects, pretty good. You can play races or battles, either only with people in your region or worldwide, and that's all I'll ever need. There's also tournaments, which I never do anything with. It's everything you'll ever need from online multiplayer. 10 out of 10. And it's time for our last category, polish. We're almost done. 8 out of 10. It's got a lot of polish. You want more? Well, what do you want me to say? The game just has a lot of polish. Like I said, 8 out of 10. And now it's time for the recap. The scores should be on screen right about now, so I'll give you a few seconds to look. After all of that, the grand total is 75 out of 100. I thought it would be a bit higher than that, but hey, 75 definitely isn't bad. As for any final thoughts, I don't have any. So, goodbye, I guess.